Hope you're having a Friday. Yay! I guess I'll put this back up here. It's been an exciting day. The neighbors having some work done at their house, so there's been activity like all day long to observe. Anyway, again, I hope y'all are having a swell time out there. Yes, expectations versus reality. Yes, that I think is going to be the title perhaps of the video. And just a little brief, allegory here to get us started. How I come up with that is I went today to get a service performed at a place where I had already paid for the service. And so I had some services left on my account. And when I got there, they're like, well, this has signed you up under this and this and this and the other thing, all these things that really had nothing to do with me. Long story short, they said, you have to refill, do all your paperwork. It wasn't working very well on the phone. And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this today. I left and I thought, well, I don't know if I'll buy any more packages there because if you can't just walk in and use it, what's the point? What's the point? It's like, you're getting upset. I was like, no, I'm getting annoyed that I already paid for something and now you're denying me using it. And he's like, well, we have you signed up under Medicare. Obviously, you're not 65. It's like, yeah. So it's like, why is that a me problem at this point? That's a them problem and their effed up system. I told him, I'm like, I used to work in IT. I'm like, sounds like your update got effed up. You know what I mean? Like, got messed up is kind of what I said. But, was there an office admin there to fill out paperwork and do all that stuff? No, they want you to do that now. Okay. When I was working for Big Yellow, okay, if we had a customer call on the line and I told them some BS like that, I would have gotten cussed out from my ear to a-hole. Okay. So expectations, right, versus reality. Pay for a service, get 0. So I may be calling their corporate number to let them know how that went because to me that's really not appropriate if you've already paid for the service. You know, and I'm an able-bodied person, but for somebody who has any kind of ADA, like especially visually and all those touchscreen things, like how can anybody do that? You know what I mean? Without assistance. So it was very eye-opening, the expectation they had after I already had paid for the services, right? Message held for review. Okay, well, that's just what happens. What shoes are you wearing? I am wearing my fuzzy slippers. They're actually Minnetonkas. I don't know if you can still even see. They've lasted a couple seasons. I don't think I've put them through the washing machine technically. Um, Look at that, 4 of Wands, you guys. That is a nice start heading into the weekend. As I said earlier, it's only Friday. Wait for perfection on Sunday, right? You got all weekend to work on it. Ignore weirdos, they said. Yeah. I guess it depends on your kind of weirdo, right? Some weird is good weird, right? And some weird is boring and icky weird, right? Somebody says, God bless and praise JC. If you are a Christian, then yay for you, right? Everybody else, welcome. This is not exclusive to people that follow Christianity. This is considered more a spirituality channel because messages from the Most High, from God, are for everybody. Okay, not just if you've heard this pastor speak about this on this Sunday in this little town in here, blah blah blah, and you are wearing this color suit and blah blah blah, and then you had the tea and coffee and blah 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 blah. Okay, it's for everybody, just like music is for everybody. Yes, so enjoy my Billy String shirt. Okay, if y'all are not fans of bluegrass, Billy is a great artist to get into because he's kind of like a crossover artist, I would say. But does perform in the bluegrass style, okay? Anyhow, 3 of Cups. Yay! Celebrate holiday. Yeah, it's very springy here today. Breezy, the sun. You may be turning your attention to maybe spring planting coming up as well. What is going to bloom and help you celebrate in the next season? Sure is better than blue anytime. I don't know what that means. Anyway, continuing on, yes. So starting with the 3 of Cups. You guys, I'm sitting next to the fireplace and I can hear, it's like I can hear the wind rattling across the flue. The wind is so strong today. I think there's like a wind advisory out for part of the day today where I'm at. Queen of Pentacles, TCB, right? What did Elvis say? Taking care of business. Yes, yes, yes. We on the TCB team, okay? Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn, specifically if you do follow the signs. We just had a new moon. Maybe you're manifesting money. Maybe you're manifesting a new career, that next promotion. Maybe you're manifesting a side hustle that you always wanted to do, whatever that is. Yeah, but it's definitely something that brings you joy and happiness. Okay. What is that song? Yes. And I bring something joy and happiness, right? But of all things, I wish you love, right? Okay. So, yeah. Things that are worth celebrating in your day, right? Makes the queen happy, right? So think about that. Think about that. Purposeful motion, okay? Not just going through the motions, but purposeful motion, okay? You know, instead of arguing with the guy there about his IT problems, I decided that, you know what, I'm going to continue on and walk the dog and enjoy this beautiful day. You know what I mean? I didn't want to sit inside filling out paperwork, which should have already been in the system. They already have my phone number in there, so it's like, okay, why can't you just, you know what I mean? Right? I mean, if I was a chiropractor and having to figure out the IT system myself, I would be a little irritated. El Diablo showing up right here. Yeah, so perhaps somebody trying to put a cramp in your creativity with bureaucracy, right? Well, that's fine, but did you fill out this form? And then did you fill out that form? And then did you fill out this form? And then about that form? And then about this line and that line and this line? You know what I mean? It's always something else, right? And this is the thing too about El Diablo. It's always a promise for something bigger and better and greater and faster and stronger. Well, how's that IT system working for you now? Dr. Chiropractor not treating patients. Instead, you're farting around with IT on the computer, telling people like me, obviously, you're not old enough for Medicare, so why is the system labeling you that way? And he's clicking around and they're confused. Reminds me, I just saw that movie Nothing to Lose with Tim Robbins and Martin Lawrence, and he kind of plays, Martin Lawrence actually plays like a techie kind of guy, like a security guy. So it's kind of funny, you know, the IT thing. Anyway. It's like I've never seen so many people in my cul-de-sac before. It's amazing. Yeah, the dog's even like, what's going on? It's so exciting. We saw people on our walk today. It was so fun. All right, what else do we have for the collective today? The 7 of Cups. Yes, I'm getting a lot of choices, a lot of options, a lot of opportunities. Like I said before, don't let some bureaucracy, right, get you in the way of what you want to be doing, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe I'll go. You know, when I'm bored and sitting here and have nothing to do, and then I want to fill out paperwork, then maybe I'll do that. Right? Not when I want to get in there for an adjustment that's supposed to take less than 5 minutes and then be on with my day on my lunch hour. Again, telling a customer, you know, and then he told me, he's like, well, when you signed up, you must, no, actually, sir, when I signed up, I didn't even have Blue Cross Blue Shield. Number one, I had a totally different company. And number two, I paid cash up front for everything. What's fair? What's fair? Huh? And why should I give you any more information? Because obviously you didn't do shit with the last information that you had storing in there. But you still found my phone number. 8 of Wands, communication. There might be somebody that wants to talk to you, hang out this weekend, kind of like just have some fun, relax time. I'm kind of getting here. Okay. So this person may also present to you some options of things to do. Some of it could be social activities, some could be a little bit more quieter and private. Okay. Okay. That doesn't mean you aren't going to like get, you know, dressed up to go and do whatever. It's just the setting maybe you know, it's kind of like yeah, going from a crowded place to a more intimate setting is what I want to say. Okay. I also heard expediting, so I'm not sure who that is for. I never worked as an expediter, so. And I learned that term in the restaurant industry, not in the logistics industry. So there's more than one industry that uses it, folks. Wake the hell up. Six of Swords. A collective, I'm getting a little bit that some of you may choose the option of not communicating with whoever this is that wants to come towards you. Because it's just not on your like goal plan right now, kind of thing. You know what I mean? You're like, look, I can't take that meeting. I can't take that opportunity because I'm working on this project and it's very important to me. You know what I mean? And that's what I need to get done. It's something like that. Okay, so with this, a lot of times comes confusion, and especially since this is in the heart chakra here, but I'm not feeling that you guys are very confused. I feel like you guys are very focused, and it's one of these things where it's like, okay, like I said before, you know, going around a lot of people versus an intimate setting. Some people cannot handle themselves around a lot of people. Some folks just cannot, and that's why they encounter towers. You know? It's like, what? Did they never let you out as a child? You know? Interact with people in the real world and know how you're supposed to treat people with fairness and equality. Right? And collective, that's your expectation. And when it's not meeting your reality, what are you doing? Your Six of Swords in that, cutting those ties with that, you know, that organization, that group, that person, maybe that whatever job. I went to the store the other day and the guy was like, he was bagging my groceries. He's like, how's your day going? I was like, well, I got my hair done today. You know, it's pretty good. He's like, I got mine cut tomorrow. He's like, I got chewed out today at work. You know, you would have thought that I was like somebody died. He's like, yeah, they really, you know, chewed his ear off. Basically, he's kind of telling me what the situation was, right? And I was like, yeah, live and learn, right? Sometimes that's the situation, but it doesn't necessarily have a lot to do with us. Like, yeah, maybe it was a simple error or something, but, you know, did the manager need to react in that particular way? Right? You know, and like he said, I can't let that affect the rest of my day. because, you know, he needed to be out there bagging my groceries, which thank God he was, because, you know, like when you go to Menards, you got to bag your own groceries. You know, they don't have baggers at Menards. So, you know, thank God they got them strong bags. You just throw everything in there real quick, right? Save big money when you shop Menards, right? You guys will understand as you get older. Okay, I swear to God, you will. Also, though, the bags at Menards don't have the handles. You know, they're a little cheaper, but they don't have the handles. You know, the bags of salt for your water softener. So I like to get those at the local True Value store down the street, you know, and they will load them into my vehicle for me, which, you know, considering I have to haul them all downstairs myself, it's very nice that they haul those all into my vehicle for me. What is in the crown now? Somebody says, take care. Good night. Who is in my house? The dog. Here, you want to see if I can see my dog here? She's waiting for me to get done. Yeah. Look at that world card. So collective, for some of you, not only do you have real opportunities, but you also have a world of knowledge. Emperor style, again, Aries. This Aries has just, if you've been following my readings, I don't know what it is about Aries season coming up, 2025. It is like boomerang time for somebody. Big pimping, right? Spinning the G's, Emperor style, right? But again, purposeful, right? You think an emperor stays an emperor because he's worried about honeys and hoes? Right? Or is it because he's got his mind on his money and his money on his mind? Okay? So, you know, as you go into tax season, right? Like, yeah, maybe you're going to get your nails done, but then maybe you're going to put some in a little savings bond for this one. Or you're going to, you know what I mean? Like, or maybe you're going to invest in a new, you know, some new professional outfits for work, depending on your workplace, right? Okay. It's kind of what I'm getting here. Okay. All right. What are we at? 18 minutes here. I'm going to do the Lover's Oracle. See what we can find out for the weekend. Again, if this is not your message today, don't sweat it. And, you know, not every part of the message may resonate with you. Some things that I say may be very specific to just a few people that are watching. I was watching a reading earlier and I don't know what, I can't even remember now what word it was, but I was just like, it was one of those, I was like, did they just say, and it's like, yeah, she just said that. And then said another thing, and I was like, you know, sometimes the messages are very clear, right? And there's a lot of people in the world that want to confuse you and say, no, it's not this, no, it's not that, no, it's not this, right? No, it's the new improved shit show, right? Totally different than the old shit show. And you're like, how come I still feel like I'm staying in a shit show every time I'm with you? Right? You know? Exactly. Time to take stock of that and sit it down where it belongs. And it ain't just at the bottom of the ocean, honey. It's, yeah. Hopefully everyone has gotten out to see the planetary alignment. 28th today, I think, is the last official day. I don't know how many days residually after this evening it will be visible. Thank you. You know what? I'll tell you about this little necklace a little bit. This is actually made from car paint from Detroit. Yeah. What they explained to me is that, you know, as they're painting on the line and then those layers of paint would fall and settle, right? So then they get compressed. So that's what this is in here. Isn't that neat? I've had this for a long time. I mean, some artists obviously made, you know, and took it and put it into the, you know, into the charm, right? But that's what it is. So I got a little Motor City Madness rusting around my my throat today, right? Have you ever heard of the Motor City Madman, Ted Nugent? Love to you from Jerusalem, Israel. I'm Jonathan Turner. I'm almost 31-year-old singer. I love your channel. How's your week? Hi, Jonathan. I am a singer and musician as well. I have an Ophelia's Band channel out there. If you do enjoy music, hopefully you are making music as well out there on your channel, okay? Under your profile. How could you ever forgive the mess I've made? Yeah. I feel like somebody knows they're in a mess and they're looking to you to kind of like solve it, right? Be like, who am I? Vanilla Ice? If you got a problem, yo, I'll solve it, right? Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it, right? Maybe you're you know what I mean? Those guys, DJ, like, you know, like a scratcher, you know what I mean? They do the scratching. Yeah. So I feel like you guys are like moving forward into this like kind of just this open world here. And in the meantime, some other folks are scratching, right? Um and they're scratching because they made this horrible mess, right? And in the meantime, you're like, what? Well, I'm just doing this, like, wah, 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 you know, like you're having fun with life here. You're moving at that speed. You know, you're moving at the speed of sound. You're moving at the speed of light. You are in the zone going forward. They cannot stop thinking about you. They want to rickroll you. Jonathan, have you heard of being rickrolled? The Rick Astley, right? I've been so in love, oh baby. What can I do? I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you. I think when he came out with those songs, he was younger than 31, right? Wasn't he from England? I've been thinking about you. I need to hold back my true feelings for you. So they've been thinking about you, not necessarily ready to talk. Okay. So, collective, again, you have some of these options and you're like, well, last time I went out with you, it kind of turned into a mess, right? Or whatever it was. Or last time we went out, all your buddies showed up and y'all got drunk and, you know what I mean? It wasn't an intimate setting. It's like, why am I even here? Right? So for some of you collective, I feel like this person is holding back their feelings because they are not mature enough to handle a intimate relationship with you. They're fine hanging around their buddies and their bros and their coworkers and right, doing all that BSing, right, that they've been doing for the last how many years because it works, right? Nobody wants to step up and fail, do they? Right? But the thing is, if you don't try, you also will never succeed, right? So for somebody, that is your message today, because even if you have failed, and I was getting for some folks this not being a celebratory Three of Cups, this being more of a, well, they're putting work before me, or they're putting, their family before me, or they're putting their blah before me, like whatever it is. Yeah. Because sometimes folks just, they're not stepping into their own zone yet, right? They're thinking about it, but thinking ain't doing, right? Whereas you collective, I feel like you're more the, I'm going to try it, I'm going to see what happens, and if it doesn't work, then, I'll take stock. And then what happens? You have so much more experience for the next time, right? So when you write that next chapter, things might start a little smoother, right? You might have different challenges, not the same challenges, okay? Where somebody that just wants to, with their drinking buddies, is that a different challenge? Okay, maybe as they get older, your body can't handle it as much, but for some folks, that don't stop them, and then it ends up killing them, literally. Mm-hmm. Sad but true. And you guys, I'm not like, against people having fun or against alcohol or, things of that nature. I'm just saying it as a warning because it is very easy to slip into patterns that encourage toxicity, that encourage negativity, that decay us instead of reinvigorating us. Okay. The way I have treated you was wrong. Yeah. So that could definitely be in with this Three of Cups, where collective, you're still moving forward and celebrating, even though maybe not everybody was on your team, right? Sometimes that happens. Sometimes there is no team except you and your spirit team, right? Except you and, if you're Christian, that's, JC and God and the Holy Spirit. If you're Hindu, that might be Kali or Ganesh, right? Things of that nature that remind us of stability, things that remind us of peace, of tranquility, of the type of spring that we would like to see. Even though, it's kind of like violent to think about it coming through the soil, reaching for the sun, right? And then we put all the dirt on top of it that we could and we pushed it on down. Right? We really got it down in there this time. But boop, here we go again. It's like dill, okay? You ever seen dill grow? I heard somebody say they were planting dill once. I was like, anyway. All right, good luck. Yeah. I did mention that movie the other day. Okay, so, and then I'm not going to give away the ending. I can't give away the ending. No, I won't do it. I won't do it. Okay. I kind of forgot about the ending myself, but yeah, it was very, very entertaining, especially the first part, because oh my God, collective, it's so Tim Robbins. This is the movie. Okay. He comes home from this, hard day at work. His boss is, whatever. Goes upstairs, opens up that bedroom door, right? Because he hears some people in there, and oh my word, what does he see, right? So he leaves out of there dejected, thinking, like, oh my God, my wife's having this terrible affair, blah, blah. So he's like, that's it. Like, he kind of snaps at that moment, right? And so the story goes is the Martin Lawrence character is carjacking Tim Robbins on the day that this happens. So he gets in the vehicle and he's like, give me all your money, man. And Tim Robbins is like, you picked the wrong one today. And then Marlon's like, what's a white boy taking me? And all of a sudden they're on the fucking desert. He's like, you're not going to kill me, man. You're not one of them slashers, are you? It's, oh my God, just that first 15 minutes, you guys. If you don't even have time to watch the whole movie, please do yourself a favor. Nothing to lose. Check it out. My stomach was it hurt. I had not laughed that hard in a very, very long time. And I feel like those of you that have gotten on the spiritual awakening journey, and especially those of you that have been physically beaten, emotionally beaten, spiritually beaten, mentally, financially, right? Yeah, that's how Tim Robbins is like. He's like, you know what? Take it back. And, by the end of the movie, he gets his power back, right? He has to go through a bit of a journey, a bit of a struggle, and Martin Lawrence is with him, obviously. It's a movie, it's a comedy, but oh my goodness. The first, I'm just telling you, just from the relatability of, you know what? When it's when we say no more. It's when we say, I'm not doing this anymore. Right? Saying I'm standing in my power now. Let's get you a couple more Lovers Oracle cards. Hello, helicopter. Do you know how to fly helicopters? I've never ridden in a helicopter. I mean, thank God I didn't have to haven't had to life flight me anywhere. You know what I mean? So, if you think there's only wartime helicopter pilots, obviously that's incorrect. Of course, there's, private commercial, on the tops of Manhattan buildings, right? But I need pilots going all over these hospitals. A guy that was a renowned pediatric cardiac surgeon here in this area, he got his pilot's license, I believe, in order to fly himself to other hospitals so that he could perform surgeries. He was already trained as a surgeon and had to get himself certified that he could fly. So, just saying, there's obviously a market for pilots that aren't drunk that can take doctors to hospitals, right? Pilots that aren't drunk off their ass. Yeah. Because I'm thinking to myself, why would a doctor have to do that? Couldn't he just hire somebody to? But I don't know if you've not ever been around pilots. I mean, anyway, those airplanes, those are autopilot, right? Those are completely different than like a helicopter, right? And those little biplanes and stuff. You actually got to be paying attention when you're doing those smaller planes. Yeah. I am not a pilot, he says. Or she. He could be. I don't know. I always hope the pilot's not, bombed when I get on, right? Like, I am better with my mind than my heart, this person says. Yeah. I think that's coming through here with the Seven of Cups, because I feel like this is their confusion collective. It's not yours. It's almost like how they're trying to figure out, how am I going to get to be around this person? What do I have to do? That kind of thing. So, but in that same vein, collective, I feel like you're like, yeah, okay. So when I stood up and said no more, that means protecting my peace, right? So, that dude at the store, and who knows, next time the manager yells, I just be like, in one ear, out the other, right? Connecting though, right? Being aligned with your chakras, right? Not always does that happen. Okay. Some of you could seek out Reiki treatments. Okay. I'd also recommend massage. You can also do self massage, of course. All right. I also recommend practicing my 5-minute rule. Bye, helicopter, helicopter. Also, I believe today is the first day of Ramadan. So to any Islamic friends that might be watching, and then on Wednesday we have Ash Wednesday, the start of the Christian Lenten season, and Purim starts right after that. So it's, boom, 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 right in succession. We got the big three, right? I don't know in the Hindu culture if there is a fasting around the spring season. I'm not familiar with that, if there is one. If anyone would like to comment about that in the comments, that would be more than welcome. Continuing on, please. What is the truth? Okay. Standing on your truth, standing on business, right? Somebody seeing you successful. Maybe somebody told them you weren't successful. Maybe somebody said, oh, you don't want to mess with them, blah, blah, blah. It's general. Most of they are fasting too, they said. Okay, so somebody said the Hindus are probably fasting too. Yeah, it is. When I was looking at my calendar, and it was like, sometimes they're kind of spread out, or like like this year Easter is a little earlier, kind of depends. So for 2025, we are all very closely aligned. I also just saw something online, or maybe it was on TV. I can't remember. It would have been a YouTube video if not, but maybe it was a television show. They were showing where they had built a complex in their community that had a common area for everybody to eat, but then they had a separate like temple area, a separate chapel, and then whatever Muslims call their area, their prayer area, I'm not sure. But it was all housed under the same building. This is in the United States somewhere, all housed in the same building. And everyone was talking about how it wasn't like removing anything about their individual faiths. It actually deepened their individual faiths, being able to practice under the same roof. It was really interesting. So yeah, we think we're so different, and this religion's better than that one, and blah blah blah, but at the end of the day, what are we all trying to accomplish, right? Peace in the valley. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, in some cases that's the Holy Father, right? Some people want to say Holy Mother. To me, God is a genderless creature, okay? Because something that creates all beings. Anyway. And we all found out at the end of The Wizard of Oz, right, that God is not a man. Moses saw a burning bush, not a dude hanging behind the bush saying, hey, Moses, why don't you take all them people over there and get them into the promised land for me? Oh, speaking of, also, since Easter and the Christian religion is coming up, there's probably going to be a lot of religious movies on. I don't know if it was called The Golden Fleece or something. There was one, I'll try and repost it, that I really enjoyed, that I saw. I had seen it only maybe once before, and I hadn't seen it in a long time again until recently. And I think it had to do with the Shroud of Turin, and people questioning a piece of cloth possessing magical powers. But really what it was communicating was the faith in a in a kingdom, right, that did not belong to this earth, right, in the Roman times. And at the very end, the emperor gets very angry because he's like, they're going to a better kingdom, right? Because he realizes there are limits to this earthly world, you know? Sometimes our bodies can't do the things that we want them to do. Sometimes our mouths or our mind can't do the things that we want it to do if we are not healed yet, right? But that also requires facing our demons, right? Not just passing them off onto the next guy. Okay? You got to work to free yourself from it. Free yourself from the bondage. What is it? Covalescent bonds versus different kinds of bonds, right? Where some bonds are easier to break than others. You know, sometimes we get really enmeshed with family, partners, community, career, whatever it is, and then we can't. It's like that Chinese finger trap. He's like, ah! And it's like the harder you pull at it, right? The more you struggle. Then it's like all these rattling chains. Kind of reminds me of one of my exes. He used to fall asleep with the TV on, which, you know, whatever. But it would be like to lock up El Salvador or something. Then he would thrash around and have all these crazy dreams in his sleep. Well, no wonder you're falling asleep to, this. It's like the chains are rattling there, right? Will this pain ever stop? Yes, it will. Practicing my 5-minute rule can greatly help you do that. But also, if you are a person who is a religious person, don't let the religion take away your faith. Okay? Okay? Because there's a lot of things that can challenge our faith. All right? Sometimes that's literal physical pain. Right? And it doesn't have to be somebody getting your hand in the car door. Mental conditions can carry physical pain as well. Depression can carry physical pain. That's why people don't feel like getting out of bed. They feel like there's a whole mattress on top of them. Like there's literally like a cement block right here, just like stopping them from doing anything. All right. So yeah, breaking free from those bonds. There may be some work you have to do. I don't know what kind of work that is. It may be more in-depth work than just listening to this tarot reading, right? You might have to seek treatment. Could that be from a doctor? Could that be from, a counselor, maybe a pastor that you trust, okay? Also, don't be afraid to go to like a different church, you know what I mean? Getting a little different perspective. That's the whole thing about going to a counselor, is because they're an outside objective observer. Okay. When I was in college and I was practicing my Christian faith, I was around some folks that were very prejudiced towards Catholics, so I would get a lot of harassment about being raised Catholic, and it's like, I can't help that. Like, it already happened. Get over it. Right? And it's like, even something like that, those folks can make you feel bad or make you feel it can be this toxic thing. And it's like, no, my faith was never toxic. your view of my religion may be toxic. But guess what? I'm viewing your religion as very toxic right now after the way you're making me feel, right? Because you're trying to say that my faith is somehow inappropriate. I wish I could be fully honest with you. So yeah, somebody definitely concealing something. I feel like you know this at a certain level, collective, but at the same time, you're not stopping, right? Maybe for you, it's kind of like, well, like take like those Scientologists and stuff, right? Or some of the Jehovah's Witnesses. If those folks leave the church, the religion, then it's like they're shunned, they're excommunicated, they are cut off, right? And it's like, is that how you want to treat somebody you love and care about? Now, if they're, conning you and if they're stealing from you and they're not treating you appropriately, maybe it is the right thing to do to cut off. You know what I'm saying? But to do so in the name of, because they're not practicing the same as you're eating cheese for dinner. Ew, who likes, ew, my God. It's kind of like that. Fast asleep. I'm gonna leave it there. I think, you guys. Do enjoy this weekend coming up. Can you explain my cards? I mean, how do you do it? I am an intuitive reader, FYI. I have specifically studied tarot. That's why I do use the tarot cards, but I am an intuitive reader. So for me, the cards are a confirmation of the message. Like today, I wasn't sure if I was going to do a reading or not, but as I went along my path today, I started getting the messages that I needed, right? And some of those messages were determined to be able to share with you, such as, expectation versus reality. So I will link the decks that I use in the description. But nothing is more powerful than your own, 2 feet, your own intuition, your own eyes, right? They asked us to reject with our own eyes what we saw, right? That's what El Diablo wants you to do, right? What do they always say? The greatest trick was the devil convincing people that he doesn't exist, right? But then why do we end up finding ourselves in these tricky situations that we don't want to be in? And it's like, how did I end up here? Right? Because sometimes people are asking us to believe a whole lot of stuff that's really just fluff. Cut the fluff. I mean, if you need fluff in your life, get a dog, or a cat, or a hamster, right? I'm not really familiar with bunny rabbits, so I don't know how much work those take, but there are lots of opportunities, as I've said before, to open your heart to the right things. Okay, so stop listening to people that time and time again lead you into, right? Lead us not into temptation. Okay, because the last time I followed you, we went right into, yeah, the bar was actually called temptation, right? And if you're an alcoholic, then that's not a good idea, right? Okay. Maybe you need the temptations from QVC instead, right? And get your sourdough on. There's always a way to flip it around, collective, to make it fit you and what your purpose, your greater purpose is. All right. And when I say that, greater purpose than what your religion, than what your current job, than what, your brother that lives in Hoboken wants you to be, right? It's a cookie cutter world. I don't like those kind of cookies. Guess what? You don't have to eat those kind of cookies if you don't like them. I know. Okay. Sometimes it's that simple of a revelation. It's like, yeah, I do have power here in this situation. Ah, got me again, right? Or almost got me again, right? Mm-hmm. But we all know who's looking out for us, right? Um, So, as your fasting season comes upon you, that is a great time for meditation. It's a great time for prayer. It's a great time to start receiving those messages. Okay. If you're not, sure how to, capture that or whatever, maybe, keep a little journal next to your bed every morning or in the evening, whenever you're doing this stuff as part of the Lenten or fasting season that you're a part of. Okay. Kind of jot some notes here or there. And sometimes it doesn't always make sense until like I was watching that reading this again. I still don't even know what word it was, but when she said that, it was just like, like, right? And then sometimes you'll go back and it's like, wait a second, didn't I, you know? And then you do have your eyes on the prize because the eyes is on you and where your feet are going, right? Bob, we were told a lovely story one time. He asked some Indian dude, like Native American, he's like, I trip up when I'm running sometimes. And the guy's like, well, are you watching your feet while you run? And he's like, hmm, yeah. After that, I don't think he fell anymore. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's very obvious, right? What is tripping us up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like they say in Forrest Gump, take care of your feet, right? Yeah. Use them to dance a little bit too, right? So, enjoy the dance of life this weekend and beyond. Even as you are fasting, sometimes that brings us more joy because we start to value what we actually have. Okay. So until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye bye.